Yeah, I'd like to see it. I'd like to see it manifest itself in a lot of different areas. One being execution. So I'd like to see the execution rise in all three phases. Whether that looks like less negative plays on offense, ending the game with a better turnover margin than it was a year ago. I'd like to see less communication and alignment errors on defense. Absolutely. Improved special teams and execution there. More first downs as it relates to yard line start position as we trade kicks. I'd like to see the elimination of that moment of crack. So even in the games a year ago, not to look back, but you can see these games that are very highly competitive. If you just look at the box score, it's not necessarily indicative of how the game went. I mean, if you have to go back and study it. But there were a lot of games that late in the third or middle of the fourth, or some kind of adversity happened, and what looked like a pretty formidable game up to that point, the train came off the tracks, and there was that moment of crack. And for the better part of 2.5 quarters, a team is held to 7 points, and then all of a sudden they've got 3 or 4 unanswered touchdowns. I mean, it's just not indicative of the preparation or their abilities and talents. So that moment of belief, that moment of persistence, a lot of it has to do with investment and preparedness. I mean, you make this great investment, it's hard to turn away from it at any point. You've got this incredible investment, you're going to constantly be engaged to it. And then belief, not fake, not false bravado. And we're really listening for the sights and sounds of false bravado. And now we're getting ready to start a new phase. So as we go into game week, do the sights and sounds change? Those are the things we're listening for. A player that did things a certain way since the end of last year, and then you get to game day or a Thursday or a Friday, and all of a sudden he's a different person. Jovial or outspoken or whatever, just different. So, okay, there you go. That's an identifier of someone that potentially could crack or has already cracked. So I'd like to think we could eliminate that. So just those two, there's more, but just off the top, those 2 areas, Des, execution and that strain and belief throughout 4 quarters of football.